Thank you, Walter. Well, it's great to be back at ATALM. It's good to see all of you. I just love seeing this big room full of people who are concerned and working and doing great things for the archives, libraries, and museums throughout the country, throughout Indian country. It's my great pleasure to introduce this year's award winner. Ben Campbell is one of those people who's led such an extraordinary life that you could take any 2 or 3 years of it and spend a great deal of time describing his various activities and achievements. So I will not do justice to the entirety of Ben's biography, but I do know a few things. I met Ben about 30 years ago. He was, I heard about this Native American man running for Congress in Colorado. And I just thought that was really quite extraordinary. I couldn't imagine an Indian at that time being able to be elected in Colorado. But not only did he run, he was elected. And almost immediately began doing all sorts of extraordinary things for Native people. We were talking a little earlier about some of the legislation that Ben and others were able to move through the Congress at a time when, frankly, we didn't have that many friends on the Hill, and we didn't have that many friends in the administration. And yet, these things were happening, and I think really two people were responsible for that: Senator Daniel K. Inouye and Congressman Ben Campbell, later Senator Ben Campbell. Before that, Ben had already had a remarkable life as a rancher, but also as an artist. He is a world-renowned jeweler, and even before he was a senator, and now he is a world-renowned jeweler again. And if you've never seen Ben's jewelry, well, you really should, because it really is quite extraordinary. One of the many things that Ben did, and I hope he thinks of it as one of the most important things that he did, was to help lead the charge on the National Museum of the American Indian Act and on the Native American Graves Protection and Repatriation Act. It was not that long ago that Native American culture was not only thought to be dead, it was supposed to be. It was the very object of federal policy to kill it. And frankly, those policies did an extraordinary amount of damage. Ben came along in his political career at the time when Congress and the world had seen the error of their ways. And Ben took advantage of that to pass some laws that certainly just 2 generations earlier, our ancestors would have thought were simply impossible, that there was no chance that the United States could be brought to even respect Indian culture, let alone to embrace it. And yet, because of Ben's work, that is very much the arc that we're on now. Ben chaired the Senate Committee on Indian Affairs during some critical years. A lot of good progress was made on a lot of fronts. One of the things Ben did, and I'm not sure whether to, I think it was a good or a bad thing, but I remember when I was, I was nominated to be the Assistant Secretary for Indian Affairs. And one of the few reasons I was willing to give that a shot was I knew that if I was going to be confirmed, my confirmation hearing would be in Ben Campbell's committee. And I felt like, well, that's probably as lucky as a guy can get, since we had known each other for quite a long time already. And we were just talking, he used his wily political ways to, to squeeze me through the confirmation process just before the Congress adjourned. And I don't know whether to curse him or thank him for doing that, because I then spent 3 years as the head of the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Let me tell you, that'll turn your hair gray. There's never been a time when Ben was not contributing to the good of Indian country. During his time serving in the U.S. Air Force, during his time as an artist and cultural practitioner, during his time as a congressman and a United States senator, during his time as a trustee of the National Museum of the American Indian. And also I want to mention the great support that he and his wife Linda give to Fort Lewis College there. Fort Lewis is really becoming a center for the education of Native American college students. And that is in no small part due to Ben and Linda's ongoing support of Fort Lewis. So as I said, I can't begin to do Ben's career justice, but with that, I'm going to call upon the Honorable Ben Nighthorse Campbell to come forward.